Hi friends, welcome back to the channel, Relocate with Kaia. I'm Kaia. I provide online support for families, individuals, and employees moving abroad. I provide them with relocation, country-specific resources. And on our channel, Rich and I share our own personal journey of moving from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to Johannesburg, South Africa with our beautiful daughter, Nina. So, Rich, what are we talking about today?
Oh, okay. That was slightly abrupt. I didn't know you were done that fast. We're going to talk about a few things. You know, some things that we experienced this weekend, and you know, some of our thoughts based on what we did in our conversation. So,
yes.
If you guys watched the other video about the weekend recap, obviously we had a chance to get out on our own for a date night to a new restaurant that's right in the area.
Yes.
This Mexican restaurant. I'm drawing a blank on the name.
But it was or something like that.
Yeah.
Bacata.
Yeah, but that place was great.
Yes,
it was
definitely
awesome.
Recommend it.
Yeah, we definitely do enjoy going out and checking out new things.
Yes.
And doing new things. Restaurants for date nights are always great.
Yeah. And Google is, I mean, say what you want. Google has been very good to us as far as, just trying new things. And South Africa has so many amazing restaurants. And this place is, this place was so close, and we've eaten at a couple restaurants, a couple doors down from this place. Yeah, on the same block, and didn't even know this place was there. So, when the Uber dropped us off, I'm like, you have to be kidding.
We know this place.
Exactly. We know exactly where it is. So the Mexican restaurant, I definitely recommend. The food was delicious. And the ambiance was really nice. And I don't know if you guys noticed in the video, there was an actual kerosene heater in the video, which I have not seen a kerosene heater since I was when I used to go stay at my grandmother's house on the weekend, heat wasn't always on. So she would have a kerosene heater to heat like the whole first floor. So when I saw that, I was definitely taken aback to North Philly. So that was interesting to see.
Yeah, the kerosene heaters, or space heaters as everyone used to call them.
Yes.
Because like back in the States, in our part of the world, like everyone has the central heating systems to the house, but a lot of times it gets prohibitively expensive.
Yes.
When it gets really, really cold, either it can't keep up with how cold it is, or it's very expensive to heat an entire house.
Yes.
So folks will turn the heat down for the house and then use one of these portable or room heaters, a space heater, just to be like, hey, if I'm going to be in the living room or bedroom or whatever the case may be, they'll turn it on there to kind of save some money. But I was really surprised. And forever, and like a tall one. Like my grandmother used to have a very little one, and it was kind of dangerous. I mean, the fact that it was a bunch of kids running around this kerosene heater, if that would be in the middle of the floor, it'd probably definitely be frowned upon today. Because people would knock them over, and catch the carpet or the couch on fire, like people fall asleep, and the cat or dog would knock it over.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So the restaurant was beautiful. The food was incredible. Service, of course, impeccable. And then the highlight of the evening for me was Flute, the place we went to go see the music. Now, this place, you could not find it with a search warrant. Like it was in this building that we couldn't, we had to ask somebody to find out where the place was, because it was in, not the basement, but it was like a building.
Of a building. Yeah, they didn't have a sign with an arrow or anything.
No. No, and it was, it was in this building that was nondescript. And then there was like a nightclub on the one side that we think we might check out another time. Same lobby. But we had to ask the security guy from that nightclub where it was, because we literally could not find this little place. And then we eventually found it. And
it was there. For where we asked, that you could see the sign. It was a little embarrassing.
It was. He was like, right there. So we get there, and then, the security there was it was a bit over the top. Like we had they had these, very nice gentlemen standing out front, and then we had to make reservations. You can't walk in. And the guy called another guy on his earpiece.
Chaperoned in.
And he walks into our table. Like it was quite an experience. But that band, incredible.
Yeah, they were really good.
Incredible. So we will definitely be going back, and I definitely recommend people go and see them. And I think this place is open Thursday through Sunday. I'm not sure about Sunday, but I think they're definitely open, I think, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, and maybe Sunday. Incredible band. And like I said, they do serve food, and yeah, it's a very small menu, but yeah, they do serve food, but we had obviously we're coming from dinner, so we definitely recommend that place. Yeah, so that was great. And then Sunday,
yeah, Sunday
our bike tour.
Yeah. Well, it was more than just a bike tour.
Right,
yeah, so,
right.
Like in Soweto, and again, I feel bad forgetting the name of the place, the outfit.
Oh, it's Lebos. Yeah, Lebos. Okay. Lebos Soweto. Well, that's the name. Like Lebos. Yeah. Lebos.
Yeah, but that place was great. Like we met, some other folks there, and it was a full-on talking about. How that place got established, how they have the various gardens in the area. We had the kids pick, the vegetables and everything that we were going to use to make lunch, I guess, breakfast or lunch. So we, had a whole, tour and discussion and, about the history of Soweto and everything, as, we were, getting this stuff prepared or picking this stuff that would be used for the lunch. And it came down and everyone, got their hands clean and then dirty, quote unquote dirty, cutting, the veggies, preparing, the various food, that we all ate.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Yeah.
To participate with everyone to do
yes.
that. To listen, to the history of some of the dishes and kind of people's experiences, around living in that area.
Yes.
And then it was delicious. So everything they made was delicious. So we got to eat that.
Rich, was it delicious?
It was delicious. So we got to eat that before we got on the bike.
Yes.
We fueled up before we got on the bike, so we got out on the road.
Yes, which I might have done in a different order. That's just me personally. Because I almost made it through the complete tour on the bike up until...
What do you mean by you almost made it through the whole tour?
I almost made it. But
you finished the tour. What do you mean you almost
know what?
made it?
I did finish the tour. Not totally on the bike the whole time, but I finished that tour.
Wow.
Yeah, no, there were some, there's some hills in Soweto.
So there was some walking of a bike, is that what you're saying?
There was some walking with my bike.
Your bike needed a rest?
Yes.
Like a horse that you took out for too long and needed to walk it a little bit?
That's right. And the guy, one of our hosts, one of our tour guides was so nice. He stayed behind as I'm walking with this bike.
Well, what did you expect? They weren't going to leave you.
No, I mean,
keep up, get left behind, whatever.
Right. No. He's like, I'll just walk. He's like, I'll just ride behind you. I said, okay. But yeah, and then I felt bad because literally once I got to the top of the hill,
it was around the corner.
Right.
By the time we got to the top of this hill, you could literally see the place. I
was so mad. I'm like, what? I said, right. We rolled up to the top of the street where the place was.
And then you were like,
yeah.
Oh, we're parking.
Right, exactly. So I was so angry at myself that I came so close to completing it, but that's all right.
Didn't want to push through?
Couldn't push through. I mean, it was zero resistance on that bike. And I still couldn't make it up the hill.
You might want to cut that zero resistance part out.
No, zero resistance. It was like I was in spinning class, no resistance. Yeah, so that was so nice. So it was like an all-day thing. We got there at 9:45, and we didn't leave until almost 4 o'clock. So it was all day, and it was such an amazing experience. And by the end of the tour, we learned some things about some incredible things about Soweto. And then what I liked was just riding the bike through the neighborhood. And I didn't expect to go over to the Hector Peterson Museum. I didn't know what. When I say I didn't know what to expect, I didn't know we were going to be picking our own food and preparing our lunch. I didn't know that what this tour was really going to consist of. But yeah, we went to the Hector Peterson Museum, which is always very emotional. And the tour guide gave us a little bit of history on that, which we had been to the museum before, but you can always get a refresher from other people's perspective. So we got to do that. And then we went to RelocatewithKaia Street, which we get no video of. But that was really fun going over there on a bike. And then I think the most unique, cool part about the tour was that the tour guide took us on top of this little I don't know if mountain is the word, but mountain or
rocky outcropping, I guess. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's like right off the street, and you could get up to the top of their city there, and Winnie Mandela's house was, you know, just on the other side.
Yeah, it was literally around the corner. Like we walked past where we parked the car at when we went to hang out with Ricky and the Jones family a couple weeks ago. And yes, it was like right around the corner, and we were just up top giving up, you know, this incredible view. And then the tour guide was Lauren. Like the girl's name. He was so amazing. It's so funny. He had on these glasses and a hat, and it was giving Spike Lee a little bit from She's Gotta Have It. That's what he looked like. So cute. But yeah, like he was a great tour guide. And yeah, so just being up there and looking over, you know, the city and getting a lesson I just thought that was so cool. And then we just hopped back on our bikes and rode back to the venue, and then had like a little toast.
Most of us rode back. Some of us walked a little bit of the way.
Okay. But yeah, so Rich and I had a conversation with one of the parents that went. So we got invited. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So our new friends that live not too far from us invited us on this tour, and of course Rich and I were like, well, of course we'll come. And there were a couple other families that were coming too that attend Nina's school, that their kids attend Nina's school, and our friends that we met, their kids also go to the same school. So it ended up being like a group of people from Nina's school, and then actually one of the parents, the little girl was in Nina's class. We were so happy because she had somebody to play with. But we got to talk to the parents. And just having some really, really cool conversations with them. And
because they were from all different countries too, so it was much to meet folks from other places around the world that are here and sharing their experiences from where they're from, and then being here and their perspective on everything. So that was cool.
No, that was very cool. And I have to say that they all of them appreciate being here. And I think a lot of them have come for work, and because they love being here so much, they've actually extended their time here. So of course that speaks, you know, to the beautifulness of South Africa. But so it was nice talking to people from other countries that were here.
Yeah, just thinking like in the States, just like how we were living everyday life, we wouldn't have had that opportunity, you know, to interact with folks from other places around the world.
Not that people don't.
You do, but it's more difficult.
I feel like it's rare.
It's more difficult. But it's funny, like one of the conversations we were having was one of the guys there is he's going to do a trip. Like there, you know, it's a long-standing tradition with some of his core group of friends that, you know, every year they go out and do something different for, you know, 10 days or 2 weeks, and just saying like, wow, you know, how great is that? You know, you guys, you know, have similar interests and are able to go out and do this every year. You know, even as you get older, like before, like, you know, what is it, 15, 16 years into doing this? So you were single then, people have families and kids now, but they still were able to keep that going.
Carve out this time.
And, you know, as I'm thinking about like, all right, well, what people in my friend group would be game to do this? And I was just thinking about that at first. And then it got to the point in the conversation, it's just like, in the States, that wouldn't even be possible. Because these guys are taking 10 days, 2 weeks, depending on whatever they're doing.
Right, where they're going.
You can't take that in the States. Like, it would be prohibitive to get folks who are in different jobs, different industries, different companies, to get that much time. A, to have that much time available to take off. But B, to be able to take it off consecutively. And the guy we were talking to was like, what do you, like, he just didn't understand that as a hurdle for folks in the States. I'm like, look, if you take more than 1 week off, even if you have the time, people start looking at you funny. Like, your employer's like, why are you taking so much time off consecutively? Like, why is it 2 weeks in a row? Normally, you would have to, like, I don't know, have surgery, have a baby, honeymoon, and that would be the only time they would begrudgingly give you, but like just to say like, oh, I'm going to take these 2 weeks off, it's unheard of.
It was inconceivable. And then he said, and I think this is just abroad, that he said that he gets 30 days off a vacation time, like a month or over a month. And that to me was mind blowing.
It is. Like, and there was something I saw online where they're like, oh, we're going to go continent by continent and give the least and the most days, or the most and the least days off. You know, of course, the state's rounding out the whole thing with like an average of 10 days, like the lowest of anyone. It's like 10 days on average. Right. You know, because some people don't even, you know, so you get 2 weeks vacation.
Yeah, well,
depending
that's
on what job you have.
Like, yeah, and you were saying like, and then total, it's, you know, 10 days vacation and then like sick days. Like a total, I think you get 20 days, including.
Well, that was holidays.
Vacation, holidays, and sick days, right?
Yeah.
So 20 total. Roughly, for the year. Yeah. And that's for sick, holiday, and vacation.
Yeah, so like companies I've worked for in the past, like there's more than 6 holidays, but they give you the big 6. Right. Like New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Memorial Day, and that's it.
Some companies have to choose which holiday.
Well, some companies, so this is after 2020, the George Floyd, all that, like when people started recognizing Juneteenth. I've been in situations where, you know, it's supposed to be like a day of service. Like, you could choose either MLK in the beginning of the year or Juneteenth. You can't have both. You can't get both of those black holidays.
Problematic.
Yeah, like you're like, really, guys? Like, you can pick and choose. Like, come on.
What? You're not getting both.
Come on now. Like, is it killing you?
Well, can the black people get both?
No. No. I mean, I never asked. I assumed everyone had to pick.
That's right. That's right.
Might have a case like, oh, white can't have both.
That's right. That's right. That reverse racism.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but like, yeah, you got to pick which one are you going to take for the day off or the holiday or whatever. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's So I'm sitting there. Rich and I are talking to. I consider him now a friend. We were talking to him, and our mouths were just ajar because we're just like, what? First of all, I couldn't even conceive. Like, I don't know if I would just the whole 2 weeks off and like how this is like a thing. And then we were talking to his partner, and she was saying like, then she gets her turn, and like just the, allowing time to, spend time with your friends and, do stuff that's not, centered around your work and, like that, like just that lifestyle was something I couldn't comprehend.
Because like I said, first I was like, what people would be down, but beyond that, it's like it couldn't, because people do different things for work, and it's like,
right.
I don't think a through line up. No, like, everyone's not in a corporate office or, like you couldn't line up 2 weeks just for that.
Right.
Because that would be done. Like some people, that would be done. That's it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Their total vacation
That's
time.
right.
Like, you couldn't.
So you're not, right. So no family vacation.
You're not doing, you're
you're choosing.
Or whatever. Like,
right.
Like,
you're choosing between hanging out with your friends for 2 weeks or spending time with your family or maybe trying to split the difference. But, and then I think also our friend that we talked to, where she's kind of like our coach, she is in a different country, and she was saying that they get 5 weeks off, 5 weeks, and that it's like built, like people expect it. It's just like, that's just what it is. Yeah. Like, it's like a human right, which that to me was just like, is that what human rights are? You're not tethered to your job. You don't have to just, just constantly be grinding to get 2 weeks off.
But that's like the whole, like, I was dumbfounded during the festive season here, where it's like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is, like December, like
the whole month, well into January.
And it's like, with people in Europe, like, they go on holiday for a month.
Oh, right. I just thought that was so funny. I was like, what is that?
Like in the States, like you just don't have that.
Yeah.
And if you do try to take 2 weeks, you're not comfortable. They make it uncomfortable.
Exactly. They're definitely looking at you and side-eyeing. Yeah,
and then it could be like, is my job in jeopardy? And people don't want to do that. So
it's a feeling that you did something wrong, as opposed to a big, like, a human, like just like, no, this is what it is. You deserve this time. You need to spend time with you.
If you want to stay at home and relax,
do nothing.
That's great.
Yeah.
But, like, good luck traveling to Europe or somewhere.
Yeah.
On 1 week.
Yeah.
You're exhausted. Yes. Like, you get the time, jet lag, you're running around, like, you're not refreshed.
No, you come back more tired.
If you try to get something done in a week, like, it's...
Yeah.
You know, but that's just the, like, you really don't,
you don't appreciate it.
I was aware of it, but yeah,
right.
I haven't appreciated it till being a little bit on the outside of that and seeing, oh, it is feasible.
Oh, 100%. Like, countries are, you know, surviving and thriving.
Oh, yeah.
Because of it. And, like, you know, our friend had lives in Europe. She was like, no, that's just what it is. Yeah. And it's just like, I couldn't imagine just being just, she had also mentioned, our coach had mentioned that, I don't know if it's like you're not allowed to send work emails after 5 o'clock. Like that.
Oh, there's a law against that.
Excuse me. There's a law against sending an email after 5 o'clock. Like, I just, like, my mind was just blown by that.
Which is insane. Because it happens all the time in the States. Like, there's this unwritten rule of, like, okay, when they do their in my opinion, mostly useless paper exercises of year-end reviews or mid-year reviews of, you know, you're expected to do more than your job. You know, like, if you're not doing your best, which is more, then you're not doing, you know, like,
not meeting the bar.
Yeah. It's like, so we expected you to do more than what you're doing, so you're meeting the expectation of doing more than you were expecting. It's like,
yes. Yes.
It's that sort of mentality is applied to these paper exercises, but no, above and beyond, answer stuff in the middle of the night, like be willing,
be
to
accessible all the time. Yeah, no. So it's just, you know, I was just talking to, you know, our friend and just listen. It's like, my Lord, it's just so different, and you really don't know until you talk to people that's outside of that bubble, just how different it is, and then you just feel like, how is this? It's not sustainable. It's, you know, and I think that's why people are looking to do things differently. But yeah, I thought that was so that conversation was just like, wow. So Rich and I left thinking, like, well, I don't even know who could get away for 2 weeks, and who, you know, like, just
it's a very short list,
right?
Folks,
Yes, exactly. So it's just, you know, again, you know, things are just done differently outside of America, and you just, you know, just realize that, you know, there are other ways of living and existing. So that was, so that was pretty an interesting conversation. Yeah. And then I guess I'll just close out on with, you know, if there's anything interesting going on in the States. And it is, so they celebrated Juneteenth at the White House. And I don't know.
I thought it was later in the month. So.
Well, I was never clear on when Juneteenth was. I don't think there was, I think it kind of was an unofficial day, but I thought it was like around the 19th,
I thought it was like the 19th.
But anyhow, so during the summer of 2020, one of the things that...
19th.
Oh, it's the 19th. One of the things that was given to, as I dare say, reparations to Black people was a holiday.
Big word.
I know. Reparations doing a lot of heavy lifting. But we got Juneteenth as a holiday, which essentially, do you know the origins of Juneteenth, Rich?
Well, you're trying to put me on the spot. So, after the Emancipation Proclamation, word wasn't on the old Googler or emailed to everyone.
Right.
So it was,
that you're free.
I believe it was Texas.
Yes.
That when word finally got there, a year or 2 months, it was a long time later. A long time that folks in that area finally found out, you know, what had happened and that they were free. So there was no official date of when that happened, right? In the month of June, right? But that's how that became acknowledged of when
the actual
finally found,
right. But then you come to find out there was more people that still didn't know after that. But but so that's what Juneteenth is, a celebration of African Americans or enslaved African Americans got their freedom papers, and so they had a celebration at the White House. And I'm sorry, Rich, how did you refer to, what did you call Biden? What was that?
Well, we were talking, and Kai was being, I don't know, bringing up his age or his cognitive abilities. And I, acknowledged that there's been a decline there. I said it's not quite a weekend at Biden's. I was thinking of the weekend at Bernie's. It's an old movie, no spoilers. Yes. The guy was dead, and they carried him around.
They
all
propped
weekend.
him around.
Right? Yeah.
If you guys,
I didn't say it was quite that yet, but there is a decline.
Please Google this video of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and they're, celebrating. Somebody's performing at the White House.
Because it's not.
Yes, I know. It said it was a Juneteenth celebration. Just Google the video. And yeah. So that, of course,
they have sticks in his arms.
I mean, they may as well. I don't even think, and it sounds cruel, but it's like I don't even think he knew where he was. Like it was just like he was, kind of out to lunch. And that just led to a conversation about how there should be
it's not June 19th. He's wondering what's going on here.
Right. He's like, it's not the 19th. Yeah. What are we doing here? But you and I were having a conversation about how, there should be age limits to these presidents being able to run for office and maintain.
Yep.
Because he's not the first president that stayed longer.
Any public office.
Like any public office. Yeah, like the same thing happened with Ronald Reagan. Like towards his second term, was he there? Was it 2 terms?
He was 2.
Yeah, like
they
said
he had dementia.
Yes.
Like definitely in a second, and some people try to look back and be like, he was.
It started before then.
First,
Yeah. So it's just like,
Yeah, and like the whole game, like the Supreme Court, like people are like, if Trump wins or if Biden wins, like some folk on the Republican side would retire if there's a Republican president, like if Trump wins.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're like, these dudes are just going to hang on until the next election to see if there's a Republican after them, which is ridiculous. Like if you are too old or not inclined to do the job anymore, like there should be a mandatory end to your term. You shouldn't be able to just loiter around as long as you're breathing, waiting, to play some political game.
Yeah, like there are people who have been in office so long, like Feinstein, what was her name from California? Mm-hmm. She practically died in office. Like it's in like Mitch McConnell. Like these are all people that are holding these seats, and they're well past their prime. Right, exactly. So it's just so
there needs to be an age limit to these.
Yeah, exactly. Because Biden is in rough shape, and I think somebody said that he's supposed to be debating Trump in a couple months or a few. This is going to be something to see because they're both, they're both.
Well, the last two. This is the third election. Mm-hmm. Going back to 16.
Yeah.
Where every name you're talking about, Hillary, Bernie, Trump, Biden, they're all 1,000 years old.
1,000 years old.
All of them.
All of them over 70.
No one's, they're all within 4 or 5 years of each other.
Right.
There's no one that's like a young spry whoever, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. There should be a cap. There should be a cap.
There's a minimum. Like, you can't run until, I forget what.
Oh, right. There should be just a window of time.
Or something like to be eligible. There should be a cap on it.
We're not trying to be ageist, but it's just like certain jobs you should not be able to hold, and running a whole country when you don't even know what's going on around you.
Certain folk hold it together. Others can't or don't.
Right.
It's.
Yeah. No, there should be a cutoff.
Yeah.
But so that's
talk about that.
that's just I guess a recap of a little bit of the weekend, and just again, always observations of the differences of living outside of America and being here in South Africa, and getting to meet people that have different lived experiences that we necessarily wouldn't have access to back at home. Is always. It makes us appreciative of being here because we see that there are alternatives to how things are done in the States. So, so I know if you have hung in this long, my word, thank you. Please feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday.